haircut. Hair.
Ta-da!
It looks so good.
Thanks.
That's fun.
It's
Oh
kind
my
of
gosh.
like it's kind of like
Vintage.
yeah, kind of like vintage
You
short
look
and
like
sweet, but then with a little bit of this too.
Sage. Oh
Just a little bit.
my gosh.
So when it's like all
What?
down, you can't tell, but if I like pull it back, then you can tell. Yay!
You're like if Audrey Hepburn was like punk.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so
Nice.
sick.
Yay.
I love it.
Well, you
I
look
didn't.
nice too.
Oh, thank you. I haven't cut mine. It's the same.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
If you ever want to cut it this way, I know how to now, and it will look
You did
better
it
on you because it
yourself?
won't be the first time that I ever did it. Yeah.
I'm glad we're friends. I think you're really cool.
Thanks. I just figure like I've made it 24 years never paying for a haircut. So like
Mhm.
literally why would I start now? You know?
Yeah.
And
Just
I
keep the
also
trend going as
like
long as you can.
yeah, if I have like a style that I want to try out and it doesn't go well and I mess it up and I accidentally give myself microbangs or whatever, I already know that I like a buzz cut. So like I can just like start over, you know? It's okay. So I guess welcome once again to Women in STEM where we're still talking about Vikram Vedha.
It's moved my entire week.
We're like, oh, we can watch it together on Tuesday and then talk about it on Wednesday.
We were
It is
fools.
Saturday, by the way.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. I that might go down. I mean, like, I've had a couple really crazy realizations in my life. That night is up there.
Yeah, it was a rough one.
It was really something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, that was wild. And there were so many moments that one of us could have noticed. Mainly me, because I did know that there were two of them. But also at any point that one of us mentioned something and the other one wasn't seeing it, we could have said something. But it did take us almost entirely the full movie to realize that we're watching these two different movies.
That's it. 20 minutes. We are stupid.
Yeah, it's official. I know you guys
Yeah.
have been commenting like, I'm not sure, I can't really tell, but do you think these guys might be a little bit stupid? Rest assured, you have the answer now. It's yes.
It's
Yeah, we are. That's it.
so dumb. We're so dumb.
Really quite incompetent in a lot of areas.
Yeah. The thing I think probably should have been the biggest giveaway, if not for the fact that both Vedas do have weird thumbs. Like they genuinely do. 2022 Veda has the extra joint in the tip of the thumb, but 2017 Veda, his thumbs are too long. So that's what I thought you meant. You were talking about extra thumb width. I interpreted that as extra thumb length.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here we are, having watched so much of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can't complain. I really enjoyed it. And there's nothing more fun than getting to compare two things that are almost the same.
Yeah.
So,
It was kind of fun. Like both movies are good. So it's not like it was like you have to suffer through one of them just to compare it to the other one. It's the
no,
same movie twice. So it's like if you like the one, you'll like the other one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not like if you had to watch, like, say they made a remake of, what's a terrible movie? Uh, it's not Love Actually, but it's, that's also a terrible movie. But the one I'm thinking
That's a
of has
bad movie.
also a bad movie. It's got Ryan Gosling and they're in North Carolina. Noah and Allie. You know what I'm talking about. It's a terrible movie.
Oh, The Notebook.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that
It's not like a remake of that where you have to make yourself sit through the one in order to compare the two, which I don't know
yeah.
if we've mentioned. That's what we're doing today. We're comparing the two movies, the original and the remake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, probably you could have picked up on that, but if our audience is as stupid as we are, they may not have registered that that's what's happening. Yeah, we really have to spell it out. Yeah,
So
well,
this today is that we're each gonna side with the one that we saw first.
I believe that to be true. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm interested to hear why.
Small disclaimer, I just realized right now that I never actually finished the 2017 version, but I assume that it's pretty similar.
Yeah, it's about the same. Yeah. There are some
Yeah.
slight differences, but can I show you something?
Yeah.
We moved the our fridge to down here and it's magnetic and so it has this nice little mag plate picture on it, but it also has my notes from the 2017 viewing because I had never seen it before and I was like, I'll just use a whiteboard. And then today I was gonna set up over here and I was like, I picked the whiteboard that has magnet. So that's just a fun fact. When we're talking about 2017, I will be referring to my fridge notes.
We gotta. I don't know how when this happened. I haven't checked, but 30 subscribers
Oh yeah.
milestone.
We should have a party.
Hello and welcome.
Yay.
We love you all. Okay, sick. Let's get into
Okay,
this.
let's do it.
Okay,
Um,
20. Should we list our criterions first, or do you
oh
want to do that?
sure, yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any particular? I narrowed it down to five
Ooh.
criterions.
Um, I let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I also have 5.
Perfect.
And
Let's
the category, but it was a draw, so I didn't really count it.
uh
Yeah.
we should do before we compare the original and the remake, we should compare our criteria or if you will criterions.
We should. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
We can do every other, like what's your first, what's my first,
Fine. Okay.
and also another reveal. Second whiteboard, much bigger. I can't fit it on the screen.
What? That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Before you called, I was like, maybe I should like officially write down because I had my criteria, but then I had never actually calculated it, so I was like, maybe I'll just do that real quick.
That's sick. My first criteria is obviously the hotness of the actors.
Okay. I have that as well, but it's further down on my list, not because they're in order of importance, but just because that's how it ended up when I was rewriting things.
Great. So we're on the
But
same
yes, I
page.
also have that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, because why are you gonna remake a movie with a beautiful person in it?
Yeah.
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 I actually about that particular topic, but yeah. Okay, well, we're on the same page there. Wouldn't it
Oh
be
yeah.
great if we had the exact same list?
That'd be
That'd be
hilarious. The only difference is like the order that we wrote them down. Yeah.
okay. Well, hopefully, my second one is gratuitous violence.
We're so the same all the time.
So cool. So
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Is one of yours the animation style?
No, it isn't actually.
Oh, dang. We could have been five. We really could have been 5 for 5 there.
And
The
maybe
2022 has better animation.
yeah, and maybe that's why I didn't write it down because we had already discussed it. I should have because that was a
Yeah.
distinction that we could have. Well, I'm so sorry. Really.
That's okay. At least I'm still on the high of having the same first two, so I'm like, whatever.
So fun. Oh my gosh. Okay. Um. I have which one's funnier? Like funnier in general, but also specifically funniest English translations.
That's a really good, that's a really good one. I like it.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank
I had kind of a general group similar to that. It's just like the acting and directing, especially because it's the same directors. I think it's interesting to see how their style changed over those 5 years.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. So it has nothing to do with the translation, but it does have to do with like the performance, which one is like has a broader range of emotion or humor.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I
Hmm.
think that's yeah. Um my next one was Freaky Thumbs, which one had freakier thumbs, and that one was a tie, but in
Yeah.
different directions. So
Okay, fair.
both won.
Um, my last one is just it's similar to the acting and directing, but it's more like the behind the scenes stuff, the production of both of them. And so
Oh,
that can
cool.
include it's a little bit of like a Venn diagram with the directing one, in which like if, for example, there's like a scene that's a little bit too fast or too slow of a pace, that's kind of in
Mhm.
between the directing and the producing. But I would put it more in the production along with like the set and costume and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
music too. Yeah.
music.
And that's
I
my
did
last
have
one because my other one was animation.
um oh, actually this one it kind of goes along with your general category. It's just most threatening Veda because I was gonna compare the two cops, but then I was like they don't deserve that.
Yeah, fair.
So yeah, more who performed the role better. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna do music, but then I listened to them both, and I think it's the same songs.
I think I a lot of it was really similar. I think I have like clips that I recorded of each of like the alcohol dances, for example. Those were
Yeah,
different, and there's just other, yeah,
and that one
yeah.
I was gonna talk to you about because well we can get into it later. Um, but so I'm just saying it out loud. Please remind me to bring that up.
Okay.
um, and my last category that I eliminated was sexual tension. Which one had more sexual tension between the two
Okay,
parties?
genuinely, that was gonna be my sixth as well.
Oh,
But I decided to like group it with hotness, violence, and in fact acting. The culmination of those three categories equals
or uh,
because
that's
sometimes you're like, whoa, yeah,
a lot of serious eye contact going on there and very close
yeah,
proximity. And
yeah,
maybe that's
yeah.
what needs to be said.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
actually, on the topic of homophobia, I
Mhm.
noticed this 2022 version. It's a diversity win because when Vikram is talking to Deepak in the 2017 version, he's like, "You got a girlfriend? You smooching on somebody? You macking on somebody?" And that's all he says. But in the
Mhm.
2022 version, he says, "You got
Oh
a
yeah,
girlfriend?"
he says girlfriend, boyfriend. That's true. I
Yeah,
do know that. Yeah.
and he's still he's like, "Man, you're so lame." And that's the same. Like,
Yeah.
how about you get yourself a boyfriend, you dork? I love that,
Yeah. You don't have
and
a
that's
girlfriend, a boyfriend? Cringe. Yeah. True.
yeah,
That is really good. Yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um. Well, I know you said this. Should we start with the 2017 version?
My
Good.
first thing is that their SWAT team costumes in 2017 are like so regular. The ones in 2022, it's like, oh, they're gonna kill that guy. Like
Very.
really intense, militaristic. And these ones are just like average American cop, you know? So I
Yeah.
felt underwhelmed just because of I grew up in the land of the free and the home of the brave, baby.
We walked uphill to school both ways, passing 10 SWAT teams either way.
Yeah.
Like, you really got to step up the game if you're
And
gonna.
it was snowing.
Mhm.
I don't know. Should we just do it back and forth? I don't know what to do.
It's a weird. We've never really had to do this before.
Because we're always talking about the same movie.
I know.
We've created several obstacles for ourselves today.
We did, but we can work through it. You know why? Because we're women in STEM. We're real doctors. We're
Hmm.
powerful. We're so sexy and funny, and we got this. I'm drinking,
Exactly.
and you got a haircut, and we're gonna kill
So
it.
everything's fine.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna be fine. Yeah.
Okay. In terms of hotness,
Okay. Hmm.
I will say personally, I think that 2017 has that one locked because Vikram in 2022, I'm sorry, that man has only uncle energy. Do you know, like,
Hmm.
that's the only way that I
Yeah.
could think to describe it is that he's an uncle.
Yeah.
He's not attractive to me at all. Like, it's negative numbers. Whereas in 2017, I'm like, he's a cop. That's so gross. But like, I can admit he's got some aesthetic
Hmm.
appeal. 2022, I don't get it. She married him.
Yeah. On purpose. And she's gorgeous.
She's so pretty.
Priya from
She
2022 might be the most beautiful woman in the world.
is stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Hey, Love is Blind.
hmm,
In the same scene as the SWAT team coming through, it's where that's our first reveal of Veda, right?
yeah.
And I realized in the 2022 he's wearing sandals, and so I had mentioned that in the recording, and you were like, I'm just not gonna say anything. Obviously, you're blind. But it's because in the 2017 he is wearing like big boots.
I thought you were talking about a different character, or like I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just something I noticed of like just another note of like maybe we could have realized this sooner.
Definitely Vikram is hotter in the 2017. Personally, I also think that Veda is hotter in 2017. That's just me because I think that Veda in the 2022 version, he looks just like Ryan Gosling, does he not?
He does not.
He absolutely does. That is Ryan Gosling in brown face. Are you blind? He looks just like him.
One of us historically is actually face blind. They look kind of similar, but not enough that it would draw me out of the, you know what I mean?
He drew me out of it. I looked at that and I like and I said I think I said this the first night that we when we were watching it and we realized I pulled it up and I so genuinely for one split second thought that they had cast Ryan Gosling and he just learned his lines phonetically and they painted him
Uh-huh.
brown. And I had whole thought process in my head of like, why'd they do that? That's really disrespectful. And like,
I can't believe they would do this thing that I just made up. That's so rude. That's like when I was telling you about that guy I met named Mason, and you just for some reason assumed that it was with a C.
his parents for naming him Macyn. And like, no one told me they did that. I invented that. I
Oh,
made
yeah, his name, it's spelled the regular way. That's
yeah,
so
drop a
funny.
comment down below if you think 2022 Veda looks like Ryan Gosling and tell me why I'm right.
I mean, he kind of does a little, but like truly not enough for it to be like, whoa, that guy looks like. I remember sometime we were watching some movie and we were like, who was it that we were like, that guy looks exactly. Well, now I can't remember, so
I don't remember the guy and I don't remember the movie, but I know that there was a guy who looked like
yeah,
another
and we
guy,
were like, that this guy.
just like that guy.
Yeah,
We'll remember as soon as we get off the call.
I'm sure that that's true.
Because I know there's a Sita in Triple R looks very much like Jenny Slate.
She
Uh,
looked a lot like Jenny Slate. Andy Serkis. We were saying this guy looks like Indian Andy Serkis.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Indie Circus, if you will. I don't know if that's rude, but it's Andy plus Indian. If you think about it, you know.
Anyway,
Yeah. Ooh, glad we figured that out.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
a huge relief. 2022 Veda, he's just a little too slender for me.
Hmm.
He's scrinkly a little bit because he's
Yeah,
got
he's quite
the
thin.
hair and the big old beard. And 2017 Veda is very like put together, and he's got the salt and pepper look, but he's very like well groomed. The other one looks like he climbed out of a hole.
Hmm. And in some ways, he did.
Yeah.
I think that to me, it really lends itself well to its character because he's just like this like down to earth guy, but he's also incredibly violent. He's way more violent in 2022 than he is in 2017.
True. That is true.
Yeah. So I felt like, oh, this guy, like he's skinny and he has kind of a crazed look in his eye, like this is a wild person. So I felt like that added to it, you know?
Mhm.
From
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that's definitely true. There's a scene where someone's shooting at him from inside a car, and then he breaks out the window, and then he drags the guy's throat across the broken window. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
so scary.
Really scary. He's so There's so much more violence in this one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. In the 2017, it's like alluded to. Like you'll show him like he has a blood splatter on his clothes, and you're like, ooh, I wonder what that was about. It's a little more mysterious. The
Yeah.
2022 is like showing him slice a man in half.
Fully in half. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for her. 2017 Veda, he has this like coldness behind his eyes that I think works
Uh-huh.
really. But I think younger Veda in 2022 is a little bit more I'm not gonna be able to think of the word, but he's sporadic. He's very scary when in the flashback scenes, because you
Yeah.
don't really know, he's got just this crazed look in his eyes and you don't really know what
Yeah.
he's gonna do.
He's
The
very unpredictable. I think instead of like a coldness behind his eyes, he has like a fire. And so it's like they're
Yeah,
both intimidating.
and they're very different. They both, and
Yeah.
I think that one works better during the young scenes, just because he's
Hmm.
growing into power, and then he started this gang war and trying to protect his brother. And I think that the old, like the present day scenes in 2017 work really well with the coldness behind his eyes, um because there's one scene in particular where he's looking at someone and he just kind of snaps his head to the right like this,
Hmm.
and so painfully blank, he's got nothing. But I was like, don't make eye contact, like
Oh my
look
gosh.
dead.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's very, because I think that the aggression works really well with the youth, but the 2017 makes it seem like he very much aged into this cold, calculating personality who has to
Mhm.
keep all these pieces in order and is trying to figure out who killed his brother and why. Like, I think
Yeah.
both work.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
Well,
Yeah, definitely. It's just kind of like it's just like a different flavor.
yeah, yeah.
Like they're
Like,
both good. Yeah.
one is like a chili pepper spicy, but then the other one is like Altoid mint spicy, or maybe like putting a tablespoon of extract in.
In
It's cold
the
and it
oven and then turn it on spicy. It's
Yeah.
cold spicy. One's warm spicy, one's cold spicy. Kind of
Hmm.
going along with that, I think the initial rooftop chase is better in 2022 because it's more fun. But I
Yeah.
do think that it's more funny in 2017 because he just like walks a lot, he's like, I'm too old for this.
I also think
Step
that's true.
outside, he just walks along like two planks and then he's done. That's funny. Like that is humorous to just be like this guy, he's like, I've been in the mafia longer than I can remember. The cops are out to get me, whatever. Like he's just walking away. That's funny. But the intensity of like the 2022, I think it's still funny that he's so unbothered by like the cops being there. Everyone's like, "Oh, someone's out to get him," and he's like, "Hey, girl." Like he's just friends with everyone in his community. He's like running along, but then he gets to do that thing where he whoosh, and his zip line's like a mile, and so that makes it
That's
that's better. Yeah.
that's really I missed the initial thing where he was where he and because I had just looked away for a second, but when I looked back at the screen, I thought he was jumping, but then he just kept going, going, going. I was like, this is the worst CGI I've ever seen. Why didn't they make this look realistic at all? Then I rewound,
It's so
and
funny.
yeah,
It's like
so
jumping
that
like Obi-Wan. You just can kind of
yeah,
keep going for a while.
looked like he glitched out, like in Skyrim or something. He just boo.
Yeah. That is funny.
And during the alcoholic dance, um, so I actually prefer it. I think it's got clearly a higher production value, or like the look of a higher production value in 2022. A lot more
Mhm.
people, bigger space, more choreographed. It's more of like
Yeah.
a like here
Yeah.
it is.
And it's
Yeah,
more like representative. It's more of like a Bahubali than it is a triple R, right? Where it's like, oh, this just like represents what's happening in their minds, but all those like beautiful ladies aren't really there.
yeah, yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
in the 2017, it's just like the guys that are at the bar at the same time as them.
Personally, I think, and again, I think it's because it's the what's that one thing called? You see the thing. I prefer it in the 2017 version personally, and I think it's just because I
Hmm.
saw it. But I they're messier in that one, and it's more closed. It's just the guys. It's a couple
Yeah.
of guys. Out, you know.
What's better than this? Just guys being dudes. I think I agree that the 2017 is better, primarily because in the 2017, like he's making the deal with who's ever is the leader of the other gang, and I don't remember the names because almost every side character changed name from one movie to the other.
Like they just
So I was like, at some point I was like, I don't know who this guy is. Like, you know. And I thought it was interesting that like Priya and Chandra, they have the same name both times, but then his brother changed. Why change his brother's name?
uh,
That was
for
weird, right? In 2017, it's like Veda makes this deal with the other gang leader, right? And then they kind of celebrate together.
yeah,
Whereas in the 2022, it's very much just focused on Veda. And I think it's because this actor is like very famously a good dancer, and so they needed an opportunity to showcase that. And that's cool and whatever. And he does a really good job. Like I don't dislike this dance scene. I just think for the purpose of like the narrative, it makes more sense for it to be all these people coming together rather than just like celebrating him almost exclusively, right? It was a lot more like communal.
yeah. I think that's a good point. And I I really like the 2022 version, and I love having a main actor be willing to dance. I don't know why, but that seems like such an important that like he doesn't consider himself such a serious actor that he's not above a little boogieing.
Yeah, why not? And it's fun to, and again, I don't know why I would bring this up, but it is fun to see kind of the villain of the piece, if you will, get to have a little dance number.
Yeah, just a little one.
I also felt like maybe this isn't true and it was just my perception, but I felt like it was true that the 2017 overall had more like musical numbers, like a musical montage. So you know what I mean? Like there were several specific songs.
Yeah, Then the
Yeah.
2020 had the this is where they get the extra 10 minutes that the 2017 version didn't have is they
Besides the gratuitous violence.
yes,
Yeah.
of course got to do it in slow-mo as well.
Of
Naturally.
course.
Yeah.
As they
Is
should.
as they should. Absolutely. If this is one thing that Hollywood cinema does perfectly every time, it's we gotta show a badass moment in slow motion, baby.
Hmm.
We move away from that in the
I
United
don't know. It's so ridiculous that these things that are like genuinely cool and make the movie more fun to watch have been deemed like cringy by like Western media, and then you see them in other movies and you're like, oh, a lot of the things that we think are cringy are actually just Asian? Like, uh-oh. You know what I mean? Like when you're watching Samurai Rebellion and it's like the face off between Ichi and like the new woman, and they get
yeah,
like close up dramatic shots, right? And in
yeah.
America, we're like, oh, that's so like anime, that's so whatever. People don't do that in live action movies, but like, why not? Because it kind of rocked
It was sick.
when they did it there. Is it just because they're Asian? And the same thing with like Hollywood movies doing like the big slow-mo. Like, we never should have steered away from that because it does rock. It is like super fun.
So fun. And this is the thing that we like I nowadays I think it a lot in my head because the second that I talk about any movie ever, and everybody at work just shuts down immediately. So that's it's not something I can share with my peers anymore.
Right.
Um, so I think it a lot. But the more variety that you consume in your media, it's almost like the more you can figure out what is good and what like you enjoy personally and
Hmm.
you get so closed off in your own little echo chamber of Marvel movies and well that just happened. Something like that.
Like in yeah, I think that you probably have a really good point. It's like a similar thing to me is like if you only eat like one kind of food every single day, then you'll never like you could have a different favorite food that you'd never know because you won't eat it. You know what I mean? Like there's always an opportunity to like kind of expand your horizons, and you don't have to like every new thing that you try. But just by the point that you tried it, now you know for sure that the thing that you like is actually what you like and not just what you are used to.
Yeah. Yeah. This makes me think of that one Am I the Asshole Reddit post where she is like she's never eaten Indian food because she can't handle spicy food. And then one of her Indian friends like tried to get her to eat a Indian dessert and it's like a fried dough with this honey oil on it and it's like golden and
Uh-huh.
it's like it looks so good. I've had any, but I start like when the picture came up, I was like, oh my gosh, like I almost drowned.
Give that to me right now. And the thing
Um,
is, I feel like every culture has a sweet fried bread, and it's
yeah,
always delicious.
people, baby,
Hmm. Hmm.
that's a like. Bestie, have you never had funnel cake?
You've never had donut? You've never had sopapilla? What's wrong with you?
Oh my gosh.
Like, live a little.
And she was so convinced that the dessert would be spicy because it was like this golden red color. It's a it's a dessert. I'm like
And
maybe
your friend who knows that you don't eat spicy food is recommending it to you. So maybe if you had a real friendship where you trust and understand one another, you could say, I will assume that this food is not spicy because my friend who knows that I don't like spicy food is offering it to me through
and is
friendship.
telling repeatedly that it is not spicy. Also, I
Yeah.
can't have I can't like I have a very low pain tolerance when it comes to spice in food. Um, I love Indian food. I
Hmm.
like that seems so insane to me to limit an entire culture of food
Yeah.
just to it might be spicy. Like you could get a good curry that's not spicy. Like what is going on? That's the
Right.
most
Like
ridiculous. world. I'm also a picky
Yeah.
eater. I also can't handle spicy food. But like, girl,
There you have options. Like, yeah, it's crazy to just think of like any aspect of a culture as monolithic, right? Like in the case of food, you're like, oh, Indian food equals spicy. But
yeah.
there's like, of course, they have a range of things. You can have a mild curry, you can have a sweet dessert, like, because that's normal.
Mhm.
Everybody likes to have a variety of flavors in their diet, you know?
Weird.
Like an entire like culture that's gone back like a million years. Why would they have only one flavor, you know?
Yeah, it's almost like calling all American food like, oh, I hate American food. I don't like burgers. It's like oh, well,
Like, so do you not like American food or do you not like burgers? Because there's other options.
there's a lot. Yeah,
Fine. Like, you can just eat something else. Do you like pie? We're really good at pie.
we do love our burger. We do love them. I'm not the biggest fan of pies though.
But at least you've tried. And you're not
So,
just gonna say, I'm not a big fan of pies, therefore I hate an entire nation. You know what I mean? Just a
no,
little bit of a different thing.
yeah. Um, gratuitous violence. I think we've covered that in the 2022
Oh,
version. It's not even a
out of this
contest.
world.
Yeah.
I decided I was doing like a 1 to 5 scale.
Hmm.
And for a lot of them, I was like, well, I don't know. I just kind of arbitrarily put a number. This one gets a 5 for gratuitous violence.
Oh yeah, baby.
Because as we mentioned, he slices this guy's throat on the window. That's not the, he slices a lot of throats. He cuts a guy in half. He sledgehammers a man's face in.
That's crazy.
And it
And
shows. Like, you see it. So,
yeah, they don't shy away from it at all. The
yeah, this
window
movie's not rated.
that
Like,
again, an insane look in his eyes.
mhm, mhm.
Oh,
The
like
look of like, he just like is about to snap at any moment. But
yeah.
then at the point, like over the course of the movie, you're like, this is the guy, and he hasn't even snapped yet. And so that's very scary because he's like
It's like
so
someone
intense
pulling
100% of the time.
so far, and it just keeps going, and you like,
Like it has to break.
oh no, it's coming. I do think just for like Vikram as a character is so funny to me because the whole time he's a member of the leopard eating faces party, and then he gets to the end. You guys were actually eating people's faces. Like he's a corrupt cop, and then the big twist at the end is everyone is like in these criminals'
Everyone in his
pockets.
precinct is like even worse somehow.
Like the gall to be like offended about it. Like bestie,
Yeah.
you. He's like, I know that you framed this crime scene wrong because I've framed dozens of crime scenes, and here was mistake. And it's like, read back what you just said.
It's like, hang on. Why are they in the wrong, but you were in the right?
His his Wikipedia, the plot description is Vikram, an honest police officer. First of all,
I
that's an
saw that. I was like, I don't think we watched the same movie, my friend. From the first second,
he does is
he's like,
lie.
I'm gonna shoot an innocent man 3 times and then make it look like he did it himself, and then go and tell somebody else, like, hey, listen, if you're debating whether or not to shoot somebody, you can always tell if they're a criminal by looking into their eyes. Girl, no.
And he made the decision to kill a guy because his joke wasn't funny.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
honestly, it was pretty funny.
It was
What's too
pretty funny. I don't think he deserved to die. I thought it
no,
was
I
funny.
chuckle and not and like granted, I love stupid jokes. I think the and well, maybe this is it. I think the less funny they are, the funnier they are. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
so maybe Vikram is the problem then, because he just doesn't have a good sense of
Well,
humor.
yeah, because he has no sense of humor and he has no self-awareness. It's disgusting.
Yeah,
Like, you could, if the big twist was supposed to be that everyone in his precinct, including his best friend, went behind his back and made a deal with criminals and they're setting up these crime scenes to, blame the wrong parties and they're making loads of money on the side. The only
Mhm.
way for that to work is if he is like genuinely a good guy. But the whole time he's like killing people willy-nilly. He's like, we can bend the law a little bit. It's okay. My wife's a lawyer. Like, so I feel like it doesn't like sometimes I'm like, huh? What is the moral of this story supposed to be? Because both of the main characters are like cruel villains who just kill people,
Yeah, arbitrarily.
but the villain actually is like, hey, hang on. Like, you got to think about it this way. What if both parties are justified? Then, like, who can you blame? And Vikram's like, I've never thought about that before. You
You
haven't?
you've
Turn
never
in your gun and
thought
badge right now. You've never thought about that? It's so crazy. It's
there's a
so
line.
wild that, like, basically the premise is, like, all these flashbacks and whatever are like Veda sitting down with Vikram and being like, okay, listen, if there are two people who are wrong, but only one of them can be punished, do you punish the person who committed the act or the person who instigated it? Great. Next question. If two people are justified, but only one of them can be rewarded, like, it's simple. It's really simple. And it takes 2.5 hours for him to make absolutely no changes in his life, band up with the criminal. What do you mean?
He is genuinely so dumb. He's so
It's
stupid.
so stupid.
Not
He made
one.
it all the way to the end of the movie and not realized it wasn't the same movie. He's so
But like, this is stupid. There's not even any moral to it.
yeah,
That would never
it's
happen
like
in real life. Cops are the good guys.
it's a kind of optimism that some of us just simply can't have.
This movie is way more realistic than I expected it to be because it starts with a corrupt police precinct and ends with the realization that this corrupt police precinct is corrupt.
And basically at the end, basically the cop and the criminal are just like, we're not so different, you and I.
You
Like,
have your
yeah,
law. I have all these markers.
yeah, it's like we could have told you that from the first minute of the movie. We're not so different because some of these police officers are actually committing crimes, therefore are criminals if you think about it. Interesting.
Yeah, no, he's and I think the his physique works better in the 2022 version for this stupid because like it looks like he can barely put his arms straight up in the air.
Yeah, because he has too much muscle getting in the way. He's like, oh, yeah.
Well, exactly.
And it's
So
interesting that we never see him hold his hands all the way up, almost confirming the theory.
interesting. I really liked the ending. I
Mhm.
thought that was really good. Um, and this is, I think, where the 2022 version may have the edge because again, I hadn't seen the last scene in the 2017 version.
Mhm.
But his Veda's like super insane, crazy look, and his laugh. That's pretty
It's good,
chilling.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty.
It's pretty scary.
This is spooky. I do think that there are two options for how the movie ended, like after the cameras left. One
Mhm.
option is they both stand there forever looking into each other's eyes. Neither one of them makes a move, neither one of them pulls away, and they die that way. Option number two
Yes.
is they kiss each other with tongue.
And both of them are super gay, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. You're gonna spend the rest of your life gazing at another man's eyes.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I have a few more notes, but just since we're on the topic, the scene in the with like the storage units and it's raining in the 2022 is much gayer.
Yeah.
There's some serious, like, there's something going on in that one.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to mention it earlier, but then I forgot. Because 2017 version, Vikram's just like beating up Veda shit. Like he is
Yeah.
trashing him. He's fighting back, and and
And
honestly,
it
that's a
kind
little
of is
pathetic.
like, yeah, it's like, why are
Good.
you just beating up this old man? It's like rude.
But 2022, it's the air is charged, and it's like you're not supposed to be in the rainstorm when there's lightning about to strike, but like there's sparks flying. grabbing each other's necks from behind and like leaning in real close. I'm like, you guys can't be doing this. You're in
Whoa,
public.
whoa, 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 hey, people can
Whoa,
see you.
whoa.
Yeah,
There is a group of people right there.
get a
He's
room.
like,
Yeah.
arrest you or I can't kill you right here. And it's like, you can't, yeah, you can't kill him.
No, I didn't realize. That's fine. Just didn't know you were chill like that, but whatever.
Yeah, no, love is love. You know?
hmm That's not the issue. It's just like, whoa. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
wow. And but that one, yeah, they're a part of it is like they're incredibly close proximity for basically the whole time, and also they're more like evenly matched. Like it's almost
yeah,
like Vikram is like beating up Veda, and he's like, "Sure, I'll allow it." And then there's a
yeah.
moment where he's like,
Not in a weird
"Okay,
way.
my turn now."
He's literally letting it happen. Maybe in a little
Yeah, I think it's in a little bit of a weird way.
bit of a weird way.
Yeah. Which again just aids it like to me, it's like, well, yeah, he's like this like weirdly tall, skinny, scrangly hair, soaking wet guy going like it works, you know?
Yeah,
That's a real thing that he does in the movie, by the way. If anybody
yeah.
hasn't seen it, he's like, oh, stop, stop, stop.
I also, the one of the last lines when Veda sits down next to Vikram after the big shootout in the warehouse, um, and they're both like kind of bantering with each other a little bit, and he's like, I mean, like, you shot that guy. I could get you a lawyer. I know a lady. Her name is. Have you? Do you know her? You met her,
Yeah,
honey?
yeah. And he's like, nice one.
Yeah. But they have them like, oh, they're
Yeah,
connected. And
because they fall in love.
we got time for another story. I could tell you about my love story if you wanted. I could tell you about my love story. Do you want to hear it? My personal love story? No, that's no. I have my gun ready to. No,
My
yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Sorry. I
No, yeah,
misread it's fine. No, it's totally fine. Don't even worry about
yeah,
it. I'm not. It's yeah. You have your lawyer, and it's okay.
yeah. Oh, it's a marriage of love. Oh, it wasn't an arranged marriage. No, oh, that's great. I'm so happy for you
Good
guys.
for
That's great.
you. Oh my gosh, you guys are so cute
Oh,
together. I love that for you. Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty good. Was it that way in the 2017 version as well?
Yeah, but I feel like just because, okay, genuinely, here's my last note. Veda, whimsical versus crazed, dash, equally gay. So I don't know if that answers your
That
question.
it does. It does. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's see.
yeah.
Mostly, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. One more thing about the warehouse scene. The sidekick, like the underling guy to Veda. In one of them, his name is Ravi, and the other one, I think his name is Bablu. Again, I don't know why they would change it. But anyway, in the 2022, Vikram finds Veda in the warehouse, pulls his gun. Veda like sees him. They're maybe like 30 seconds, a minute in, slices his throat. In the 2017, they have the whole conversation while he's standing there, and then he kills
Yeah.
him at the end.
Yeah.
And I
That's
don't know which one is worse.
oh, oh, they're both chilling in different ways. Like,
Yeah,
and they both work very well.
yeah. And I think they're both the right choice for that movie.
Yeah, yeah. And for the
Yeah.
actor was because yeah, the letting him just be there with them for that whole time, that definitely works for that cold calculating, like they've got more of a cat and mouse game going on where you don't know exactly what movie he's gonna make, but you know he's got his next move planned. This guy
hmm
acts before
Yeah.
anything
It's
else
like
can
he's
happen.
thought about it, but he just thought about it fast.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's still unpredictable from like an outside perspective. And that's why like when Vikram comes up to him and finds him and he's like, "Oh, hey." He's like, "Wah! Ah, why?" You know? Because he also, throughout the course of this whole movie, Veda's reading him like a book. Vikram is like, I don't really know what's going on. Why would you do that? Like he has no connection into like this guy's mentality, which is very funny because it's like
No, I love it
you're
because it's
supposed to. Like the whole point of the story is like they're realizing that they're the same person. So then
you have
why would
to
he be like, yeah,
um
it's interesting.
like the the trope of that's disgusting. Can chapstick expire?
I am not familiar with that trope. Hee hee.
The trope of like this cop understands this criminal better than anyone ever has, even possibly better than the criminal himself. This one is like it's and it's the like the Will Graham Hannibal Lecter relationship where the criminal is like he knows cops so well, but it's if the cop were about as complex as a cabbage and has the
Right.
well. He cannot understand the criminal in turn because every realization he makes, it comes painstakingly, like 20 minutes at a time, where he has to realize, like, I've connected 18 dots at a time, and it all leads, like, they're all, like, dude.
They're all just things that Veda told him verbally.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you
Yeah.
cracked the case. I think somebody confessed to you. It's not the same thing. He's so stupid. Oh my gosh. I have a
That was,
question for you. A question
yeah.
of taste. 2017 Simon versus 2022 Abbas. Who's hotter?
Barely looked at
You can look
either
it
of
up. You
them.
can compare. You can do a side
Yeah.
by side comparison. Simon has
Yeah.
like the tall, bulky, like buzz cut vibe, and Abbas he looks British, not in a bad way.
Can you still see me, by the way?
Again, hi.
That's fine. I. Mm, mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? Like Abbas looks like a hobbit or something.
Mm-hmm. He looks British.
Yeah.
Really good description for him. Uh, hmm.
Instead of it being like Indian version of specific guy, it's just like Indian version of British guy. Generic.
I think I don't know. This is tough for me.
It's kind of tricky because I thought I had an answer, but then the more I thought about it, I was like, well, it's hard.
Yeah, I think I might have to call that one a wash.
Wow.
I think they're both perfectly mediocre to me. Answers your question at all.
It does.
I was gonna say too with Priya, I think both Priyas are so pretty. They're so
Mhm.
stunning. Neither one of them should be with either one of those men. I get
Yeah.
more attractive, but also girl, like look at yourself.
Right, right, right.
Have standards.
Like you don't have to just pick between the two Vikrams, like which one's more your type. There's actually millions of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was gonna
Between the two Chandas, I think that I liked the 2017 one. I think she has a little bit more, she has more lines, like in the dinner scene, you know? They like cut
yeah.
out some of her lines in 2022. So I liked her personality better. I thought she had a little more time to shine. However, the
Yeah.
2022 one is more convincingly left-handed.
That's funny. I didn't notice that. Left-handed in the 2017 version.
She doesn't seem left-handed. She seems like she's like, oh, I'll just, it's just a couple scenes. But she's like, she eats like this, like it seems unnatural. If you were eating with your dominant hand, it's tends to be closer to you because she's on the inside of the table. You know what I mean? Like if I had somebody next to me and
Yeah.
I'm left-handed, I still have the dexterity to eat with my arm close to my body instead of putting my arm close to them.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah. And there's
Um,
also a moment where the brother who again has two different names for some reason, he like hits her in the face and she hits him immediately back, left-handed, and it's a lot stronger left-handed in the 2022.
See, I disagree with you there. I thought the 2017 version had more depth to it in her slap. I thought the 2022 version felt kind of scringly when she tapped it. I thought that
Mm-hmm.
one sounded like she tapped his face. The other one, I was like, she hit him.
Mm-hmm. But
But
do you think that that's maybe because she was trying too hard to be left-handed?
potentially, yeah.
It's very possible. We just don't know. I
No, I
don't
hate your.
have their stats. I'm not sure like which one of them is left-handed, you
Yeah,
know?
we didn't clock the speed on either of them.
Yeah.
Okay, which one was more attractive? Which brother?
Which brother? Oh shoot. I have to remember what they both look like. I'm more familiar with it because I've seen the 2022 one now, like, 2, 3 times
Yeah.
this week. Um, don't remember the other. What does he look like? I thought, I mean, I don't know. To me, they're both equally attractive, but I do think that Shatak, who's the brother in the new one, looks more related to Veda in the new one. Like they look more
Yeah.
realistically like brothers. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, they don't look anything alike in 2017. But I personally think he is more attractive in 2017. But I do think you're right. I think they look more like family. Oh, one more thing I was going to mention. In the alcohol song, they do a dance with a towel, and they're like, put the towel between your legs and party. And then there's
Mhm.
two extras standing behind Veda, and they're just pulling the towel back and forth between his legs like they're flossing it. And I'm like, what's that about? I it looks cool.
Um, they were just following instructions for partying. They're like, well, we got this towel and we got this guy, so let's make some magic.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't have anything else to say. We did a lot of our comparison between the two, and we know that 2017 won for you and 2022 won for me.
The in the alcohol dance scene, I do have one more thing. I That's not what I said just a minute ago when I was breaking up, but I'm glad we had this moment to pause and think about it because um they do what looks so scarily similar to the JoJo Siwa dance. The That thing. I could not believe it.
That's
And that was
that's so funny. The
yeah.
thing about JoJo Siwa Dance, like Karma and whatever is the new one, I have avoided them as much as I can, but I still have seen them, unfortunately. And they seem genuinely hard to do because I don't understand how she can be so uncoordinated within her own body.
Yeah.
It's
She's a
difficult. I'm like, how are you like she's like doing the fist and stomp, but like not at the same time?
no.
I don't understand it. How?
I don't know because she looks like she's trying so hard, and all the other choreographers behind her look like it's okay, and like I can see them doing it and be like, yeah, like that's not. I personally don't like it, but like they make it look good. I believe that they're professional dancers. She looks
Yeah.
like she started dancing when that's
Yeah.
in fact why she's famous now. It's because
Yeah,
of
like
like
she's
dancing.
right, she's supposedly also a professional dancer, but I don't like maybe that's part of the thing. Like the gimmick is like more people will talk about her if she dances badly. And so she looks like she's trying really hard because she is trying to like, how can I do this like just coordinated enough to get away with it, but also like bad.
Yeah,
But
because
I don't know if she's thinking that many steps ahead of the rest of us. You know what I mean?
I'd be surprised if she were.
It
No,
doesn't really
wait.
seem like her MO. It seems like she just kind of says stuff off the dome.
Yeah, she's not like a master. She's playing checkers.
Yeah. Yeah. For a second, I did hear Taskmaster instead of Chessmaster, and I was like, I guess that's true. Like, she's not a Taskmaster, you're right.
Also, I was gonna tell you, I watched our Iga video again today,
Mhm.
Uh, um,
Is it good?
and it's the video itself so funny, and I do need to watch Iga again.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna do that going to bed tonight because
Nice. It's
yeah,
perfect because the whole movie is a bedtime story.
yeah. So it's perfect, and then I get to watch, psychological torment before bed.
Yay! Cool. Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
And I'll talk to you next week about a different movie.
Sounds good. Bye.
Yay! Bye!